Hello, hello, hello. My name is Tracy Smalls DeLeston, and I am back to share another brief video regarding narcissistic abuse. And I hope that this video will motivate and inspire you to make some changes in your life if you've ever had an encounter with one. So this video tonight is going to be really brief. If you need any coaching regarding narcissistic abuse, just simply send me a message through Messenger, or I'll have the email listed on this video so that you could just simply send me an email. I'm just asking you to give me 24 hours to respond back to you. But I saw a video earlier regarding why this particular individual felt like you should not block a narcissistic person out of your life. And, I was wondering where he was going with this video, but I wrote down a few things that he mentioned. One of the reasons he says that you'd be giving him or her supply. We all know in the narcissistic community, if you're not familiar with what supply really is, supply is just something that a narcissist craves from an individual that they're connected to. This is why they have a multitude of people, because one person will never be able to satisfy a narcissist. It just will not happen. There are too many things that they need, and their self-esteem is extremely low. Extremely low. So they just need a lot of admiration. They need a lot of love. They need money. They need some of everything. So they have a person for this, they have a person for that. If you are with a narcissist, chances are he or she is cheating. Let's just be clear. So in his thoughts, he's like, I don't think that that's such a good idea to walk away or not walk away, excuse me, block them. I kind of disagree with that a bit, and I'll tell you why. You cannot run the risk of constantly having communication with this individual, especially if you have a strong connection to them. And most of the times we do. We really do. I did. I had a strong connection with my former husband, who was a narcissist. And I blocked him. I just stopped all contact with him. But, as this gentleman stated, he feels like you're giving them supply. Well, my thoughts are, who cares? Who really cares? They're out of your life. Be gone. Be gone. But here's another thing that I want you all to just really prepare yourselves for mentally. If you're going to block them, remember, I just said a narcissist generally has a multitude of people, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I don't know. Some of them just go overboard with other relationships when they should be in a committed one with one individual. Be prepared if you were to block them. Don't be surprised if you don't see them with another individual, perhaps the same day, the next day, within a week. Mentally prepare yourself for that, because that's just another blow that they're going to potentially put on you. And if you're not mentally prepared for this, it could really crush you very hard. It could crush you. So be prepared for that, because chances are they will flaunt someone else around you. That's just who they are. This is what they do. Be ready for it. Once again, let me teach you how to be ready for it. Then he also says it could turn them into anger or rage, which is definitely true. We've seen Lifetime movies where, a woman has walked away from a man, or, vice versa, and the individual literally went ballistic. They could try to revenge you. They could try to attack you physically. Never ever, y'all, please listen to me and listen to me carefully. Never put yourself in the mind space that, oh, he would never do this or he would never do that. Always assume that they can potentially physically hurt you. We are still grieving the loss of my first cousin's son, who was murdered 3 years ago. Actually, Christmas of this year would be 3 years on Christmas night. He was murdered from a woman that he was with for many years. They haven't confirmed it, but we know the deal. Everyone knows the deal. And eventually they would be caught. But just nevertheless, he trusted her. And I can assure you, in his mind, as much as she may have argued with him, the rage that she portrayed sometimes, I can assure you he never thought in a million years that his life would have ended. He was 18, 19 years old with the same young lady, same person for several years. So we never want to assume what a person may or may not do. When I left my former husband years later, well, I shouldn't say years later, excuse me, months later, after not having any type of contact with him at all, he calls me at 1 o'clock in the morning. The first call came through, the person said nothing and hung up. The second call came through, same exact thing. The third call, he finally built up enough nerves to say, hey, this is, I won't mention his name. How are you doing? I'm like, what do you want? Those were my words to him. What do you want? Out of curiosity, I was curious. What do you want? He says, I wanted to know if you could come over here and talk to me. I said, I absolutely would not. But who's to say? I believe wholeheartedly that he was plotting against me that night at 1 o'clock in the morning because he knew I wrote the book. People were talking about it because the communities were not too far from each other. So people were talking about it. So he knew that I was on to him. And I think he wanted to shut my mouth. So y'all, please, whatever you do, when you decide to block them, be careful. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the calls, the texts, whatever they're doing, whatever they're saying, especially if they're threatening you, even if it's in a roundabout way and you know what they're talking about, report it. Do not take any chances with them. Now, he has never physically harmed me, but I've literally gotten a call from women telling me what they used to do to them physically. In fact, I had someone inbox me through Facebook and said, hey, can you talk to my friend? He's in a relationship with her now. I've read your book. She's read your book. And he's doing the same exact things to her. So it would have been just a matter of time because he was already at his breaking point with me. I felt it. That's why I got out of it, because I knew it was going to potentially get to the point to where it would be physical. So let's not play games with them. Pay attention and be extremely wise when you're dealing with them. I would never suggest that anyone continues to conversate with them out of fear or not block them out of fear of them potentially doing something. You have to protect yourself, even if it means going to the authorities. What I've done, because he began to speak ill of me and made it appear like I was sleeping around with his friend and just a whole bunch of crazy things, I called the police department. Hey, what can I do? This man is attacking my character. What can I do? So there's ways of getting around it. Unfortunately, some crazy, sometimes it may even mean you may have to relocate. It just depends on the severity. But you know this individual. You can get good idea of how violent they are. Because if you've been with them long enough, I'm sure that they've displayed some type of violence, whether it was verbally or physically. I'm sure that they probably have. Then he, went on to say, I kind of paused with the rest of the video because that's all I needed to know. He said, some, you may be lucky enough to where they just leave you alone altogether, such as myself. It took months before I heard back from him. And then all of a sudden, he called. Now, it has been almost 2 years now, close to two. I've not heard anything from him. But that's not to say that he's not watching me. Someone sent me a screenshot and says, hey, be careful because he's watching you. And I'm like, how do you know that? She sent a screenshot of my page, my profile on Facebook that he sent to her. So just because they're silent, it doesn't mean that they're not watching. So be very careful. And once again, if you need any type of coaching regarding narcissistic abuse, please contact me via email or inbox me. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to help you out. Hey, we could join together, join forces, and put a stop against this mess in our lives. We can't protect everyone, but we can certainly share and help each other out. Until next time, you all have an amazing day, morning, night, whenever you're viewing this video. Get out to my YouTube channel and subscribe to it. It's under Tracy Smalls. Click the notification bell so that you would be notified when I'm uploading new videos. And if you're not following me on this page, please do so. Good night. God bless.